Hi. Today's a very simple one. I got a corky. Today's a very simple one, and a lot of people want to know what it is. And it is how to read a dog food label. It's really simple, and I'm going to try to explain it as easily as I can. I'm a big believer in the KISS principle. K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid. So, first, ingredients are listed by weight prior to processing. Sort of like on the commercial when you see a McDonald's burger, quarter pounder before cooking. So, this is strictly by weight, not percentage, not volume, nothing but weight prior to processing. Descending order. When you look at the label, you may want to get your food and just replay this again. But when you look at your label, look down the ingredients until you see fat or oil. Fat or oil is where everything before that is listed is a huge quantity of the food. Anywhere from 85 to 95% of the food is from the fat forward. After that are the micronutrients. You could have some ingredients that are a little bit larger than a micronutrient, but nonetheless they're 30 pounds a ton, 20 pounds a ton, something like that. And that's where the manufacturers put in all the cool stuff, even though they're really not in the food. They put cranberries, and they put yogurt, and all this cool, wonderful, yuppie stuff. And it's really not in the food. There's a pound a ton, 2 pounds a ton. Where is that in the food? So now that we made that clear, fat forward is most of the food. Fat after is very little of the food. Now, micronutrients have an important play. The vitamins, minerals, all that has an important play. Don't get me wrong. But I just want you to understand that. And the fat can be 12, 18% of the food anyway. So, you know, from the fat forward, not counting the fat, is a lot of the food. Okay, so now you have a food that has lamb, and not lamb meal, but has lamb. We use lamb, not lamb meal. Well, lamb doesn't cook in extrusion machineries, okay? And that it has to be a liquid form. And what happens when you make a liquid form? It's very heavy. So if you have lamb, chicken, beef, duck, goat, rabbit, whatever, listed as a meat, it's a liquid form. It's a very good chance it's a liquid form because that's how they process it. And by them making the meat liquid, like a hot dog liquid, it's listed high in the ingredient list, right? So it's deceiving because you think the kibble at the end is mostly lamb or that meat. That's not true. If they use a meat and then a grain and a grain and a grain and then a meat, or they use a meat, a potato, which is a starch, which I don't even want to start addressing these grain-free diets that use products that are from below the ground or the ocean. Tapioca, pea starch, potato, sweet potato. These are not ingredients. Dogs don't dig for food and dogs don't fish for food. But that's another whole understanding. My kids like ice cream and popcorn, but I'm not giving them every day, you know? Anyway, so you have that. So what happens if they use a meat, which is a liquid, and then some grains or starches, which expand when cooked, how much meat is really in the finished kibble? Not much. Another trick they use is they may take an ingredient like rice and split it into brown rice, rice middlings, rice flour, whole rice, white rice. And therefore, what will happen is that you'll have a product that may have a meat, and then 5 or 3 grains, or rice split up into 3 things. And what that is that you put those together, they split it up so it's not the first ingredient. Those expand, the others shrink. Okay? It's that simple. Now, why am I telling this? Because I'm the only guy left in the industry, I believe, that's making a dried dog food with lamb meal from New Zealand and chicken meal from America as the first 2 ingredients. What happens to a lamb meal? What is a chicken meal? What is a meal? A meal is the product that is mentioned without the water and fat taken out of it. So you have a very concentrated 70, 80% protein product, very rich and thick. That's a dry powder. That's when it's cooked with the other ingredients, with the steam and the water, it expands. so that you end up with more meat in the finished product. It's that simple. And what's the result of that? High digestion, lower feeding amounts, smaller stools. It's a win-win. Why aren't the manufacturers making foods such as this anymore? They used to many years ago. Why? It's expensive. It's very expensive. Trust me, it's very expensive. So that's basically how to read a label 101. I hope that's interesting. I hope you learned something. Please visit Viand, give us a shot, and we'll guarantee you that your dog will be much, much better on better food and less of it. You take control. Thank you.